So you just watched the presidential debate, and you know that Biden is going to be replaced. In this video, I'm going to predict who I think is going to replace Biden. Stay tuned.
Hey, we motivating the nation, gonna set the foundation, spreading positive knowledge, crucial conversation. All rise for the Will Rodriguez Show. Let's go.
Welcome back to Crucial Conversations with Will Rodriguez. Before we dive into what we're going to be talking about today, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and all that. With that being said, we watched the presidential debate. We know that Biden is not fit for office, and people are wondering who is going to be the nominee. People are thinking Michelle Obama, but I don't think it's going to be her. Okay. Now I'm going to play some clips of different news sources, different videos, and just keep in mind that how I process information maybe is a little bit different than how you guys process information. I look at conservative news, liberal news, and also news that is right in the middle. Okay. And it was just interesting because right now there's a panic going on within the Democratic Party. However, there's more to it. Okay, so I'm gonna play the clip. All right, before we start kind of diving deeper on this issue. So the Young Turks said
now
this.
Check the press. It's officially over. You guys ready for the headlines? Okay, because this is it's already past the tipping point. So Mediaite's a good place that summarizes things real quick, especially the media. Yeah. So let me read you their headlines one after another. Breaking: shocked MSNBC host reports panicked Biden inner circle discussing dropping out. Okay,
is this
so
a surprise?
It's already happened. They have an opinion piece next on Mediaite. Biden should drop out. Next, CNN's Van Jones on the verge of tears says Biden should be replaced, quote, if he will let us. There's no if he will let us, okay? You know what you do? You shame him until he does. Say, oh, you're gonna risk the country for your ego? You narcissist maniac, right? Yeah. And then you drive him out. But do they have the willpower to do that? Or are they just gonna bend back down? Are they gonna bend the knee again? Is this gonna be like Trump and MAGA, where no matter how crazy he is, they bow to the mad king, right? So right now they're, well, let's see what happens.
Publicly.
And it's kind of crazy what happened with Andrew Cuomo, right? During 2020, they're all in favor of him. I'm talking about the news media. And then when they decided that, you know what, we need to terminate this guy, we need to cut ties with this guy, they turned on him very, very quick. Okay, so just keep listening.
I think that behind the scenes, privately pressure, I don't think a lot of the formal surrogates, like the cabinet members, I don't think are going to come out and say that he should drop out. But I'd love to be surprised.
No, the cabinet members are not going to do that. Yeah, the press would have to. But yeah. No, the press would have to do it.
What's Scarborough saying?
Yeah, well, we'll see tomorrow morning. But right now, I've never seen the establishment press be this tough on an establishment candidate. 3 headlines in, but I got more. Chris Cuomo declares Trump and Biden are an embarrassment to the country after the debate. I actually felt bad for the moderators. Listen to this one.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, don't worry about it. There's another one. Well, look, you'll like this one. Disgraceful. Liberals fume over CNN debate moderators declining to fact check Trump, right?
Thank you.
They gave into the pressure, no question. And then finally, but there's tons of these. Oh, here's another one. Drudge report sounds the alarm over Biden debate disaster. Operation Replace Biden is the big headline on Drudge. And then finally, deep, wide, and very aggressive panic. CNN's John King reports Dems may ask Biden to step aside. Okay, so both CNN and MSNBC inside sources reporting, and I'm gonna read that quote from John King again.
Okay.
Deep, wide, and a very aggressive panic. Wow.
What's interesting to me is that this is not a surprise. I mean, all of us saw it coming from a mile away. And that's why I tell people all the time, especially for those guys, people that read the Bible, when it comes down to different events, don't let those things take you by surprise because we already know what's going to take place. So as soon as things start unfolding, I'm like, yep, I read that. Yep, I kind of saw that coming. And it seems like people are shocked, especially people on the left. But they're making it seem like they're shocked. But they knew who they put in office. Okay. Now, I want to share another clip because I think this is going to give you good insight. And many people don't like him. A lot of people love him. Okay. And this guy's a powerhouse for sure. Check this out.
Because we got a trick hiding in plain sight. I'll tell you what the trick is. See, we spend a lot of our time, I do this on TV too, I do this in the campaign, so I make the same mistake, criticizing Joe Biden and the radical agenda. I want you to mark my words today. They are leading us into a trap because Joe Biden is not going to be the nominee.
Whoo! Did you guys hear that? They're leading us, the conservative party, into a trap because he's not going to be the nominee. So if we focus all our energy in the debating and going after one candidate, and then somebody else could just creep from behind. I don't know if you guys see in the movie Lucky Number 11, but in that movie he talks about Kansas City Shuffle. If you guys don't know what that is, go Google it right now, pause the video and type in Kansas City Shuffle, and you'll be like, that's what's taking place. All right. Now, I'm going to play the clip.
That's the hard truth. So part of me, I want to come here and hit Biden in the next 10 minutes before we wrap this up, and that's easy to do. In some ways, that's what they want us to do, because that's money spent. That is airtime spent, political capital with our electorate going after one man, which as late into this cycle, once the trials start, once the lawfare continues, and it's disgusting what we're seeing in this country, the weaponization of a justice system against one man that is decided by hell or high water. They have to stop him from re-entering the White House. It's a disgusting system, but they're delaying that right in the spring.
Yep.
Maybe even the early summer.
Yep.
To then move the old man Biden out of the way and prop up a new puppet who they can control. You got to skate to where the puck is going. So who's it going to be? People ask. Is it going to be Gavin?
So, did you guys hear that? That is a mouthful. And for a small person like himself, I heard that the first time, and I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense because all the money spent, ads, all that stuff, right? All the energy is focused on just one person. That I think even Democrats before this debate would agree that it's not fit for office, right? But I do think that people want somebody that's well-spoken, somebody that is more of a salesperson, opposed to somebody that is for the people. I know a few politicians, and I talked to them, and it seems like, things change when you get elected, right? Even if you want to do the right thing, when you're in politics, you almost have to, give up a little bit in order for, the opposite party to help you pass certain bills. And we're fighting over, I'm not going to say the small things because they're pretty big, but we're fighting over things that at the end of the day, the establishment wants us to be fighting about those things opposed to the bigger picture. What do I mean by bigger picture? Well, we know for a fact that there's going to be a one world government, a one world currency. So while we're fighting about a bunch of things, they're here passing their spending bills. They're here setting up the Antichrist. All right. Anyways, that's probably going to be another video. Okay. But check out this video here. And this is kind of like what I suspect, and this is what I predict. I could be 100% wrong, but I predict that this person is going to be the nominee. And when you guys see him, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. So check this out. Look how they talk about him.
They're like all of Trump's shortlist VP nominees are walking around on the ground. Nobody wants to talk to them. It was like human piranhas descending on the governor after the end of this.
Okay, so what's happening here? This is a little bit after the debate, a few minutes after the debate. And one thing that you have to realize, in order to be a good number one, you have to be a great number two. Okay, kind of like Vivek, right? He wasn't there bashing Trump from the very beginning. He knew exactly where he needed to be, which means he needed to be supportive of Donald Trump, almost be a flag carrier, be that person that Trump could, rely on and depend on but he positioned himself as a strong number 2 guy. So something happens with Trump, whether he gets arrested, or I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm probably gonna get shadow banned. He might even get murdered because the establishment doesn't want him to be in office. That could take place. Obviously, Tucker talked about that a little bit. I'm not predicting that, but what I'm saying is that look what happens. Look how he talks about Biden here.
Debate. Governor, let me just, I mean, what was your reaction to what we saw on screen?
Well, not on the substance. He won the debate. I'm old school. I'm old fashioned. That's
What does that mean? I'm old school. I'm old fashioned. Like, what does that mean? I mean, somebody in the right could say the same thing. I'm just old school. I'm old fashioned, right? But there's a loyalty to the party. But it's just kind of interesting that he said, I'm old fashioned. He won. Very confident. Didn't question nothing. And they can't question nothing because, I mean, I respect the fact that he didn't bash the person that essentially is going to give him the way for him to go into office. But it's just interesting. Maybe there's some internal fights within, or maybe there's a few people that call the shots within the party. I don't know that information. It's just interesting.
what matters to me. I thought the lies, I was taking notes about all the lies. I ran out of paper. Donald.
Wait, you ran out of paper? I've never seen the politician take notes. But again, I'm not gonna criticize. I wasn't there, but it was just kind of interesting how he's coming across. My prediction is that Gavin Newsom is gonna be the nominee. He's well spoken, good looking individual. I do think that Democrats will want him to be in power because he looks the part. I do think that Trump and the other side, I think he's slowly converting more people. I just read an article earlier today that talked about that the Latino vote, it's split in half. I think it's like 40, close to 40% or 45% or more are voting now conservative. The rest are voting liberal. Latinos have different, I would say, experiences. If you come from Venezuela and Cuba, obviously you're oppressed by socialism. If you come from Mexico or other parts, you're probably more prone to voting a different way. Now, if you are here, like a first generation, it's probably gonna be different than 2-3 generations in. So it's just very interesting. But whatever happens next, just don't be alarmed. Be prepared, and also be in prayer, because the Bible calls us to be watchful. The Bible calls us to pray for our leaders. It calls us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It calls us to pray for our nation. And most importantly, I think a lot of people miss this. We have to walk in our calling. Preach the gospel, make disciples. And I just want to read a scripture that is in 2 Timothy chapter 3. It's going to go deep. For a lot of you guys, you probably already read this, but I think it's crucial for our time. You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days, there will be very difficult times. For some people who love only themselves and their money, they will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control, kind of like we're seeing right now. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. They will act religious, right? A lot of people are religious nowadays, right? They go to church, they do the right things, but check this out. But they will reject the power that can make them godly. Stay away from people like that. That's deep. Hopefully that brought you some insight. Don't be panicked. We know exactly what is going to happen. Things that are going to unfold. It's all in the Bible. Talks about that. What is it? Damascus is going to be destroyed. It talks about the one world currency, one world government. By the way, America is not mentioned in the end times. So we don't really know exactly what part they're going to have in the end times, we know there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, but don't panic. Okay. Stay in prayer, stay in the fight. With that being said, like, subscribe, share, send to somebody that could benefit from this information. Maybe they're so caught up in politics that they're making politicians their God. Maybe they don't have any hope, because there's a lot of people there without hope, and they think that a politician is going to come in and save them. But I understand, because we live in this country. We want our freedoms. We want to prosper. We want to bless others. Totally understand that a lot of people are upset about the condition of our country. However, as a country, we have many sins, and we have to go back to God. We have to get right with God as a country. And I think our time is coming down, and I don't think we have too much time left. However, you can make a difference. You could start being a light and walk in your calling. With that being said, guys, keep fighting the good fight. Stay in prayer. Stay dangerous. That being said, I'm out.
That Rodriguez show, yeah, that Rodriguez show, yeah.